Welcome everybody to Destiny of Cards. Today we are doing a deck profile of the new update to Dragon World from the update from Galaxy Burst. So today's deck build is based on Thunder Knights and Crimson Battle's fusion as one as a hybrid deck of this new deck. So this is our flag, and our body here is Thunder Knight Draco Archer, and we'll further explain why we use him later on. Firstly, we move to the monsters with the size 2 of the monster build. We run 4 copies of Thunder Knight Armordragon. So this is the most used card during the Thunder Knights era. So this card is basically a move card. By paying 1 gauge, you can summon this card. So his main effect is move. So he has stats of 6000 power and defense with 2 critical. It's a size 2 monster. Next, we run 4 copies of Thunder Knight Dragonic Dragon. This is Gao Mikado's body monster during the Thunder Knights era deck that he used. So basically the effect is call cost, which is pay 1 gauge and you may put 1 Thunder Knight cards from your hand into the soul of this card. Okay, so it's optional for the soul putting a card into the soul. So but the cost is a pay 1 gauge. So basically you have 3 key words here. So one is move, one is penetrate, and one is soul guard. Okay, so obviously you only have soul guard if you do put a Thunder Knight into a soul card. There's a soul in this card, so yeah. So but the main effect here is the move and the penetrate here. So you have a stats of 5000 power and 4000 defense with 2 critical. Next is the new card from Galaxy Burst. We run 3 copies of Crimson Battle Heavy Impact Dragon. So this card is the new card from the new set with stats of 4000 power and defense with a critical of 2. So the main effect is when this card link attack with a card, with an item card with Fist in its name, you can destroy a card on opponent's field. So basically you just have to link attack and then you can destroy. So before any damage dealt, you already destroyed the card. So yeah, it's a very good, you can target the flag and then you can destroy a monster on the left or right if you want. Yeah, or you can destroy a set spell that's on the field or a set impact card. For example, when you're fighting a Katana World deck. Yeah, this card can destroy almost anything that is on opponent's field. So you can destroy an item, you can destroy the impact set by opponent from Katana World, or you can destroy a monster. Yeah, so you can choose any card so long you link attack with an item with Fist in its name. Next, we move on to the body monster. We run 4 copies of the body, of course, which is Thunder Knight Draco AR. So the effect is when this card is called to the field, and then if you have another Thunder Knight on the field, you can draw a card. So it has 2000 stats of power and defense and critical of 2. We will further explain why Draco Archer is very useful in the new update with a new spell card that is in this set. Next is an update for the Thunder Knights, which is Thunder Knight Silver Chain Dragon. So Thunder Knight Silver Chain Dragon is the new card from Galaxy Burst. Basically this is a old card that have gained the name of Thunder Knights. So if you all do know, Silver Chain Dragon, Iron Chain Dragon was its original name. Yeah, so now he has become a Thunder Knight and he had been renamed to Thunder Knight Silver Chain Dragon. So its effect is still the same as when it is still a Iron Chain Dragon. So it is pay 1 gauge and reduce a monster's defense by 3000. So it still have this same effect, but if gain another effect of, if you have another Thunder Knight on the field, you gain move. So it's a mover. So you have a stats of 3000 power with 2000 defense and critical of 1. Size 1 monster. Okay, now we move on to the spells. Basically, since this is a Thunder Knight deck, obviously we have the Thunder Knight's most stronger spell, Draco Bond. So as you all know, the effect is you can only cast this card if you do not have a monster in the center. Okay, so before you move, you can actually cast this spell, then that monster that you move gain this Draco Bond effect. Okay, so the counter spell, so you have this effect of choose a monster on the field. So during this turn, that monster will not be destroyed if it will be destroyed, and you gain 2 life. Okay, so this can prevent that monster from leaving the field. Okay, now we will move on to the new cards from the Galaxy Burst that is very useful in this deck, especially a Thunder Knight deck, which is Dragonic Loop. Okay, so Dragonic Loop is a card that can be cast when your size 2 monster or below is being attacked. Okay, so you can only cast this. So for example, your Draco Archer is being attacked, you can actually return it back to the hand. Or your Armordragon move to the center, and then if let's say your opponent link attack, so because you have 6000 power and defense, so your opponent link attack, you can return this card to hand. So you can save your monsters back to the hand. So it's a very good card here. Then its effect is return that monster to hand, and you gain 1 gauge. So you gain a free gauge. So next turn, for example, if you return a Draco Archer, you can just return it back, gain 1 gauge. Then later next turn, you can just call it and draw a card. Or if you want defense, you can return Armordragon, gain 1 gauge. Next turn, you use that gauge that you gain, and then call Halberd back again onto the field. So it's a very good card in this deck, especially a Thunder Knight deck. Yeah, so yeah, we run 4 copies of Dragonic Loop. Of course, next we'll move on to the standard cards in the deck of a Dragon World deck, which is 4 Blue Dragon Shield. So the effect is if you do not have a monster in the center and your opponent attack you, attack during your opponent's turn, when your opponent declare an attack, you can cast this card, so you gain 1 new fight the attack and you gain 1 gauge. And then its counterparts, 4 copies of Green Dragon Shield. So similar effect, negate new fight the attack, but this one you gain 1 life. So 4 of each copy. Next, we run 2 copies of Dragonic Grimroll. So this card can only be cast if you have 5 life or less. Okay, so discard your whole hand and then draw 3 cards. But you only can cast 1 Dragonic Grimroll per turn. Next, we run another Dragon Shields. Gold Dragon Shield. So basically this effect is pay 1 gauge. Then for the next damage that you will receive is reduced to 0. So yeah, so do take note, cards like Gigantic Crusher cannot be reduced, so this card cannot reduce that damage. So, but this card is a good card for you. For if your opponent think that he can final turn you, you can use this card. Then yeah, it can save you a lot. Next, we run 1 copy of Wrath of Dragon. Also, this card is a counter spell. You let Armordragon in battle, gain 6000 power and defense. Okay, next we run into the item. So we run 4 copies of Sunfist Sunshine Impact. So this item have a 6000 power with critical 2. Equip cost is pay 1 gauge. So when this card link attack with your body monster, so our body monster here is Draco Archer. So for this turn, that power will become infinity. So yeah, it's a very good card, especially if let's say you fight a monster like Azidaka. Yeah, so your Azidaka or any card that have very high defense, you can just link attack with Sunshine Impact with your body, a Draco Archer, then you get an infinite attack. Okay, next we run 3 copies of Crimson Fist Draco Blaze. So if you have critical 3 with power of 3000, so the equip cost is pay 1 gauge. Okay, so yeah, I know the power is low here, but this card have a critical 3, so it's a very good card for early damage. Yeah, so especially this Crimson Battler deck too. So yeah, you have the most powerful impact card here, which is, now we are going to the impact card, which is 3 copies of Gigantic Crusher. So Gigantic Crusher is the key card here of the impact. Okay, so you have you can only cast this card when your opponent have 4 life or less, and you're equipped with an item with fist in its name, and neither you or your opponent have a monster in the center. So the neither part is same as Gargantua Punisher. Okay, so the cast cost is 3 gauge. So you deal 4 damage to your opponent, and the damage can be reduced. So any cards like White Dragon Shield that reduce damage cannot be used. I mean, can be used, but it won't reduce the damage. Yeah, so yeah, this is a secured 4 damage dealt to your opponent. So yeah, all the damage gain here, you can actually cast this quite early in the game. Like maybe sometime turn 2 you can win this card too. Lastly, we run 1 copy of 5th Omi Divine Arts Howling Storm. So this card is there because it have this effect of you can cast this card if you have 6 life or less. Okay, page 3 gauge similar to Gigantic Crusher, but the effect is kind of different because this card allows you to destroy a card on opponent's field. Same like Heavy Impact Dragon, but this card is an impact version. Okay, so you can destroy a card on opponent's field and deal 2 damage to him. So yeah, your opponent can have 10 life or whatever life, but the only requirement here is you have 6 life. So it's a very good card for you to clear certain irritating card on the field, for example monster, item, or even a set spell or set impact. So yeah, you can actually use this card if you do not have your Heavy Impact Dragon, or you can actually use this card to further damage your opponent by reducing his or her life by 2. So yeah. So we hope that you enjoy today's deck profile of the new version of Thunder Knight deck. Okay, with the update of from Galaxy Burst HBT02 that you can get from your retail outlet, that's the official retail outlet that's near you. So do subscribe to Destiny of Card and do share and like this video too. And if you do have any deck profile that you wish to see or any battle that you like to see too, please comment in the comment section below and let us know. We hope that you enjoyed today's video and do stay tuned to the next episode of Destiny of Card. Thank you.